Another night, another dream, but always new. It's like a vision of love that seems to be true. Another night, another dream, but always new. In the night, I dream of love so true. Another night, another dream, but always new. It's like a vision of love that seems to be true. Another night, another dream, but always new. In the night, I dream of love so true. In the night, in my dreams, I'm in love with you. How you talk to me like the first time. I feel joy, I feel pain, I feel the same. When the night is long, I'll be alone.
DJ Sequence.
In the night, in my dreams, I'm in love with you. How you talk to me like the first two. I feel joy, I feel pain, 'cause it's still the same. When the night is coming, I'll be alone. Another night, another dream, but always new. It's like a vision of love that seems to be true. Another night, another dream, but always new. In the night, I dream of love so true. Another night, another dream, but always new. It's like a vision of love that seems to be true. Another night, another dream, but always new. In the night, I dream of love so true. In the night, in my dreams, I'm in love with you. How you talk to me like the first time. I feel joy, I feel pain, 'cause it's still the same. When the night is long, I'll be alone.
Look around and see the beauty of the sky. Here for you and me, a wonderful life. Look around and see the beauty of the sky. Here for you and me, a wonderful life. No need to run and hide. It's a wonderful, wonderful life. No need to laugh and cry. It's a wonderful, wonderful life. Here I go, out to see again. The sunshine feels in my hair.
Right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How's everyone doing? How's the music to volume ratio? Are we good? Can you hear my air conditioning unit and my treadmill? We are like triple teching it tonight. Nice and clear. Music's kind of loud. Alright, we'll turn the music down for you guys. How's that? Is that a bit better? Sounds good? Excellent. Excellent. We do the mic check because we've had various times where it's been absolutely dog shit. And we hope that that does not continue. So, how's everyone doing? It's been an interesting couple of days. Chat's moving so fast, well, no one will know that I only... I mean, yeah. Yeah, I'm good, man. I mean, I literally AFK'd the one day of the year where we get, 30% in a day, but that's alright. I'm pretty sidelined right now, and you know, it's one of those. You can't catch everything. IRL called. I answered the call. I went. I wouldn't change it for the world. And those days, whilst they don't come around that often, you know, there's always another one. And more importantly, I didn't lose a fuck ton of money like some people would have done on leverage. Because we've had, you know, the to me to you of, we're going to bomb them. No, we're not. There's a ceasefire. No, there isn't. It's been a bit incredible when you think World War III / human life is in the midst of all these conversations. And, yeah, we're all focused on what's Altcoin doing for the day. You full ported into ETH 5 days ago? Does that mean it's like actually the same price as it was? Yeah, pretty much. Nice. But yeah, ETH is wild. So we'll start off perhaps with some debauchery on Bonkbot, my wonderful partners for the stream. Should we ape some dog shit on here? I've actually got little to no soul left, because whenever I make money, I take it out. What's this? Should we just buy some of this? Let's fucking go. Bosh. As you can see, very clean, very tasty UI. If you are an on-chain legend, you should check out Bonkbot. It is literally insane in terms of the tools that they've got, from monitoring wallets to simple stuff for the likes of me, where, you know, you get all the shit that people have created. Like, look, Solamich, how many of these do you actually need? But about to graduate and graduated, like, interesting little things to scalp and play with. I've been doing this with mixed success, to be honest with you, but that's me, not obviously Bonkbot. And if you want access to this, let me grab the link and stick it in the chat, because you will be joining a waitlist and it is imminently coming out. So if you want to play around, you have to sign up. Let me find the link. If only I'd done it earlier, right? If only. But I am multitasking, which, you know, I am male. And that doesn't usually bode well for multitasking. Oh, I can hear my own voice. That is disgusting. There you go. When memecoin stream with Doc, to be honest, me and Doc have debated a few things. Like, we've debated starting like a 10 to 50 sold challenge and just going like, right, let's see who can run it up the fastest. Probably neither of us. But one of us will get lucky. I got lucky with diarrhea, and it was This Shit Will Run, which is fucking, what an epic name for a shitcoin. Do you know what I mean? I've been waiting for like weeks. I know, man. I do apologize. We will sync up and we'll do something. I think we should start like a genuine challenge, like me v him, because that'll make it even more fun and competitive. Which, of course, I am massively. So what have we done? We are buying the top of Pump Everything Peace Everywhere, which is Pepe. Let's go. Let's come back to this at the start of the stream. So far, 76 cents up. Absolutely incredible scenes. We're going to retire by the end of the stream, boys and girls. Take your time. So what do we all think of Bitcoin then? What do we all think of Daddy BTC? Take that off. Take that off, because I missed it. What's all our views now World War III's over? Straight to infinity? Straight down? What's the take? What's chat's view? I mean, for me personally, it's been relatively simple. And I said the same in my outlook on Monday, and then I AFK'd for the day. You know, for me, these lows are just the lows off the range. We swept them, so we sold off down here. And obviously everything was basically around the headlines, right? It was a complete headline week, which is totally understandable given the overhang that we had down here of, you know, a potential World War III. God, I'm gonna have to turn the speed of this down, so I'm losing my fucking breath. Jesus Christ. Range bound until proven otherwise. Hold up, they still eating rockets left and right. Yeah. Seems like we're just pure SPX bear at the moment, so whatever the boomers do, basically. Yeah, so there's a lot in all of that. And, you know, I missed all of this. I literally went out at... Well, I didn't miss that. I went out here for the day, and I came back, like, here. So it was like the whole sell-off, the chance to buy sub 100k after having cleared the lows. You know, this is like the ultimate test of range low. Absolutely lovely PA for those who are a bit aggressive, and, you know, treat this as the deviation. Like, absolutely lovely trade. Really, really nice. The speed at which it just ran up is, you know, incredible. You know, do I think that this move is done? No, I think this is kind of the overhang and the relief bounce of, you know, what we had before. So we had all the war pressure coming out here. We had things actually starting to kick off. You know, had everything, all the negativity being priced in, people selling all their assets. You know, a little bit higher beta than SPX, as a couple of, or S&P, as a couple of people have pointed out already. But, you know, that's what crypto is, right? It's kind of high beta TradFi now. And the only way that you really outperform that is by finding the altcoins that are strong, which, you know, I keep banging on about it. You guys even said as soon as I load up the stream, you know, our Fartcoin's pumping now. You know, I am in a little rotational long on Fartcoin, but let's be honest, it's a bit late, and I'm actually underwater on it. I'm not going to LARP. I am. It's coming up to my entry. 103.71 right now, which we are slightly underwater on it. But yeah, in terms of outperformers on this rotation, Say is a coin I haven't heard of in a long time, and actually, like Mog, Whiff, and a few others massively outperformed Fartcoin, which I was quite surprised about. So, yeah, not ideal. But none of that really matters now. You know, what matters right now is what's the next move, yeah? So for me, I've still got my spot BTC positions from way back here. I think we basically longed it here, didn't we, on that break? And I drew it going up to like 40k or so, 140k or something like that. So, you know, I'm still long from there from a spot BTC perspective, but my only perps are short Trump, which is still going, because I want to like hold that till it's $1 or $2, and currently long a rotational Fartcoin trade, which we can talk about in a sec. And then I've got loads of on-chain bags like useless. I see Charlie, you talking about useless. I actually aped useless. Let's have a look at useless because it's fucking nuts. Am I going to add it to thingy? No, because it is nuts. These are probably all going to be shite in terms of liquidity because it's MEXC, but whatever. I actually held useless like from down here or something. I bought it around here, and then Uni PCS shielded it down here in my replies, like at the literal Pico bottom. And I was like, oh yeah, I've still got a bag of that. I actually didn't hold it because I quite like the meme of all cryptos are useless. And then obviously it's just fucking ran. So I am, you know, not up insanely on this, like down here. But I'm like, I don't know, I thought it was about 5x on it, so maybe my entry was a bit higher. Yeah, maybe my entry's like up here or something. So I'm about 5x on it. Which is great for like a month, right? And obviously it's not my entire portfolio or anything like that. But yeah, what a fucking wild chart, man. What a fucking wild chart. Like, as soon as I bought it, I was underwater. So I think I must have been in this candle here. Oh, that's a Saturday. Probably would have been that. Or here. Yeah, that's more like it. I was basically instantly underwater. Okay, so you know, in terms of useless right now, like, it's still a pretty ridiculous coin in terms of strength. Would I be looking to buy up here? Nah, not me personally. But, you know, yeah, it's exceptionally strong. So what do I want to do now? Let's kind of get onto that, because useless is fucking wild. Like, you know, that in a few weeks is beyond. So let's kind of zoom out, yeah. For me, right now, like, local price action is just heading into the mid-range, yeah? Doesn't matter, like, how I want to chart it up and how specific I want to be about what points I consider the highs and the lows. You know, this high here, for example. Do I want to move it down a little bit and be very specific? Like, no. I'm just looking at areas where there is typically like resistance. Yeah, there's support. Resistance, 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 you know, deviation through and fail. Fail to close above, resistance, resistance. Now, does that mean that I want to balls deep short this? Absolutely not. Not right now. You know, there's not a lot to play. You can squint and see a divergence across these highs, but it's well over the 14 periods, and it's a little bit like, bit early. Maybe if it forms like a high time frame triple div, but it's not going to, right? On the 2 hour, it's just nothing there. On the hourly, there's nothing there. It's just too early to try and counter trend this, I think, from a RSI perspective. Now, from a price action perspective, obviously, you can just take something like this. You know, we've swept this high. We can go like this and go on the short side over here if we really want to. But I'm just not going to be that aggressive. I don't want to go on the short side at this point in time. Perhaps to my absolute folly. You know, we've had some wonderful rotations on alts. On an intraday basis, they continue to be reasonably strong. We had a good couple of rotations earlier, for example. Let's have a jump back. Where was it? Like a few little rotations. A bit of relative strength on Altcoin, obviously, which is now dying, as I can see from my PNL on the on my right hand screen. But yeah, I'm not going to be aggressive shorting. What I'm looking for is where do I add some more size? Where do I buy a bit more spot BTC? How do I structure that next trade and that next leg? So if we operate on the premise that this is like, you know, the mid-range right now, and this is, you know, where we're at, do I want to long blindly into that mid-range? Answer, no, I do not. Do I want to buy a higher low down here somewhere between like 103 and 104? Yeah, absolutely. If we come that low, right, we might just carry on. And if we carry on, we have to structure a trade around 106k, which is equally okay. Alright. I have to take the speed of this down. Jesus Christ. Kind of underestimated how difficult it might be to walk and talk. I've now got a lot more respect for all the fitness people that do that and trade and talk at the same time. But alas. So, you know, my next trades on BTC are likely to be down here somewhere. Now, I'm not going to specify an area, right? I'm going to tell you the trade setup that I'm looking for. So it's one of two things, really. It's interaction with the data, with the trend down here, or it's divergences on a lower time frame, where actually what we're getting is something like this, right? We're getting consistently lower lows and a high high on the RSI. So all it's saying is this has sold off very quickly, this is slowing down in terms of momentum, a reversion trade to the mean is quite likely, therefore, and that's why you use this as the kind of simple confluence to what your target should be. And if it rejects from it, you kind of know that the short-term trend is still going to carry on in that direction, i.e. you've probably not caught the actual full-on trend reversal on a low time frame basis. You know, it's still trending to the downside, but when you actually start reclaiming that trend level, you can just follow it for a period. Does that make sense? Keep running. Yeah, I'm on the treadmill. I mean, I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm running. I'm on like a speed of 2. We've done 0.8 miles since the start of the stream. But yeah, we're at that point of the market where I need to get like one of those move apps or something, where, you know, I get paid to do my walking or whatever it is. Fucking bear market things, isn't it? Or Sidelined Steve things. But that's what I want to do. That's what I want to see down at this level, down here somewhere. Now, you know, this is where it gets a bit like, oh, we're going to come back to this in a week. Can Charlie be long? Yep, probably. But I don't care if it's 103,461. I don't care if it's 104, 117, right? I don't care. I'm looking for that change in structure, that pullback, punish everyone longing in this range, and, you know, a higher time frame, higher low. That's it. That's all I want. That's all I want to see. If that doesn't happen, then presumably it's going to do one of two things. It's going to range here, in which case I can play a range if I really want to. I probably won't opt to do that because I don't like range trading Bitcoin whilst it's at a high time frame high, right? Breakout trading on Bitcoin's not my thing anymore. Used to be. But I just find it reverts too much. Whereas breakout trading on altcoins, if you catch the right one, you get a very strong move and it just runs for 10, 20, 30%, right? Run, Charlie, run. So that's Bitcoin, right? That's my next leg kind of plan. Pull back and long, or vice versa, play something on the upside up here, but have a much wider stop. Much wider, and manage that with my position sizing, right? So, you know, when people see this, it's because I want to be really aggressive and I want to take big size, because I'm going with like a ridiculous 13-hour trade. Now, it's very rare I actually do that, right? I might do that on altcoins sometimes, particularly on breakout trades, so that I can size into it and I can have a pretty tight stop. And if I've got that set up and I've got that kind of thought process, then put simply, I've got, you know, I'm risking a very small amount of money relative to my overall and standard risk if it's like 0.5%. So, you know, if my risk my usual risk per trade is 1% or 2% or 3%, let's say it's 3%, on a high conviction breakout with, you know, an A+ setup, then, you know, I can do 6 times my normal size effectively, because I've got such decent and tight invalidation. But for Bitcoin, I don't think that makes any sense at all to do at this point in time. So the two levels I'm looking to play around are down here and up here. Very, very simple. Looking at the trend, looking at market structure, and that's it. You know, I think it's far too late to be just longing in here. I think these longs are probably going to get punished. And if not, then great, right? But we have to accept that we are off the back of a couple of very, very strong days, right? We've probably had most of the fun of this rotation. And anything we're doing now is just kind of probably chasing a little bit. Now, I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. Everyone has to make up their own views. But when I start looking at, you know, other charts, like, so all of that makes sense for Bitcoin, yeah? I think we can kind of leave Bitcoin where it is and say that by proxy, obviously, Bitcoin affects everything else. And if Bitcoin doesn't run, or it does pull back, and that means alts will do the same. So, Altcoin. I've already tried a couple of trades on Altcoin today. I basically sold the top of that little rotation there. And I traded it from like here to about here. I traded it from here to here. I'm still long in here at 103.271. So I've been trading it, but to be blunt, I've not been trading it very well today. And I feel like when that happens, it's because it's kind of late to the rotation, and this is more of a distributive high, and it's a distributive range rather than a consolidation before the next leg up. So what's more likely in my mind is something like this, you know, sweep all these lows, print a high time frame, higher low, maybe not go this low, and then carry on. Yeah? You know, over here, when we got the breakout, there was pretty much zero retest of that trend. And there was pretty much zero consolidation in terms of, like, look at what this is doing here. This is ranging, yeah? RSI just flat on the bullish side, but not particularly strong. This rotation, just up only. Even this rotation, you know, pretty decent just in terms of running up. This, very nice start to the rotation, but right now, not exactly perfect. And also, not the best in terms of beta, which surprises me. It's getting outperformed by things like CRV and Say, which is a bit annoying, right? So do I want to short this? No. In my opinion, it's kind of tough to short unless we make a sweep of these highs up here, right? And we go for something like this. Now, the only way that I do shorts like this is it goes up, it comes back down, and I'm shorting there, right? I want it to take the liquidity here, punish people who have got their stops above here, who are shorting too early, and then go down, right? And then we'll target some of these lows down here, punish the longers, and then we'll carry on, right? Because that plays into the thesis of the market structure move, yeah? So that's the higher high, that would be a higher low, and away we go, yeah? Very simple. And I think that has the confluence as well of Farcoin being not as strong as it has been. Now, I would love Farcoin to rip up right now, partly because I'm underwater, but also partly because it's a fun fucking coin to trade, right? Let's be honest, it's very fun when it moves. Very, very fun. But yeah, that's my thought process for Farcoin right now. Aside from low time frame, intraday trading it. Like, all I'm doing at the moment is playing simple range levels and going, kind of like Farcoin, kind of good to long. It's had some nice rotations before. Let's just assume it does again. And let's try and play some diagonal breaks. Let's play some strength, so like this candle here. I was actually talking to Exo when this broke out. I was watching it on low time frame, wanting an entry. But this kind of initiation candle, usually really, really good kind of entry point for our rotation, because you can see how strong it is. You can see it's been pretty boring before and just blasts through the trend. And there was a lot of relative strength at this point in time. So when you get all those things added up, it makes for quite a good rotational trade. Now, there was only a few percent in it, as it turns out. But again, you know, if you're making 3-4% every single day on your account, that's pretty incredible. And you'll compound that very, very quickly. But yeah, I'm kind of... my thought process here was try and play the breakout, essentially, so that this was a retest on a breakout. And it has certainly not been that case. So I'm currently like long and underwater. And I'm just going to hold it until it sweeps these lows, which, to be honest, at this point in time, looks like it probably will. But we will see. We will see. Is that my actual entry? Yeah, that's pretty much my entry. It's actually 371. So yeah, it's like there. So yeah, looks like the streamer rushing to save my underwater position, which is very kind of you. But yeah, like from an intraday perspective, it's not that interesting today. Not that interesting. The big thing that I'm concerned about, and actually we covered it ish at the start of the stream, is this. Like, if you were all being objective, you would be worried about this at this point in time, right? You would be worried about this being a rejection. So my other thought is to just go, oh fuck this, I'll just short Ethereum and just hedge absolutely everything with ETH. But for me, like, I think, yes, this is a relief bounce. I still think the overarching trend is up. Hype next Papa Charlie. Oh, we can talk about hype actually, yeah. We've had a few hype trades. Altcoin is underside retesting. Monthly open. Yeah, I don't really use monthly open or Monday's range or anything like that, personally. But a lot of people do. You know, I kind of think of each day as like a bit more dynamic than just it's the start of the month, it's a Monday. But I think Doc posted something earlier that was like Bitcoin does most of its gains on a Monday. And Monday's high on Bitcoin typically marks the high, or has done, for the last few weeks. Let me just find that, actually, because it was quite a... I mean, a lot of Doc's posts are great. You should be following him if you're not already. Let's have a peep. He's got some really good threads. Where is it? Whoa, what the fuck is that? Jesus Christ. But yeah, look at that. That's wild, isn't it? Monday's high, Monday's high, Monday's high, Monday's high, Monday's high. Boys, don't let the high be in for the week. I mean, alright, we retest it up here. We kind of get close here. And we retest it there as well. But it's pretty depressing. Yeah, not ideal. Not ideal. You pull up your EMAs on ETH, not great on the daily. Yeah, there's probably a lot that's not great on the daily. Yeah, exactly. Still under that EMA, it looks like a perfect kind of underside retest. And that's another thing that's kind of worrying me about the overall structure of the market. ETH looks like dog shit. Doc is a good poster, you guys should pay him more. It's true. True. Should just give him the entire Paragon, mate. Good evening, baby owl. How's it going? We're walking, we're talking, we're trading, we're losing money on Altcoin right now. Tempted to just revenge short the shit out of it, but we don't do that here. Hype next? Yeah, we can talk about hype, but let's finish the point on ETH. Like, if there was a divergence heading into this, like a proper one, not like this janky shit, I would be taking that trade all day long. All day long. And just max shorting the shit out of it. But given that this is like a relief bounce, given I expect the wider market to be trending up, I don't want to take it. You hinted on Twitter today, how do you pick which coins to have on or off spaghetti? There's actually a really good way of doing it that I've become really lazy to do. And I might do a video on it because it's a little bit more complex than just picking stuff. But that's what I do at the moment, right? What I do at the moment is I just pick stuff. And that would be a combination of what I know about, what I'm interested in, what I know is reasonably high volume or kind of in play, which will be a combination of what I see on the timeline, group chats I'm in, just flicking through the exchange like gainers of the day and having a peep on that. But there is a better way to filter it out. And maybe I do a little YouTube video. So like, subscribe, comment, send me $1 million, send me 1 Bitcoin, I'll send you 2 back. All that kind of stuff. But yeah, this looks absolutely horrific. I'm very tempted just to max short ETH. Like, ETH BTC still looks like dog shit. Wherever it is. Slowly trending up. Again, same setup, same underside retest. But then we'll be looking back on this one next week's stream and going, yeah, that was the fucking most obvious short on the planet. Really, really not great. Thanks for being back. Didn't take Dave Vol and new things floating on Twitter. Yeah, that kind of thing, mate. And, I mean, 30 days is probably a bit too extreme for what I want to do it for. But you got the right thought process. Bitcoin getting ready for a breakdown? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. It's what we talked about at the start of the stream, right? That, we've essentially swept this high over here, break out of the range, sweep the initiation high, come back, and if we close in this little range, no reason why it can't just go bosh, take out all of these stops down here, do a nice little reclaim, and maybe that is our continuation trade, right? Yeah, market isn't looking particularly strong from a spaghetti perspective. Everything's kind of taking a bit of a dump. I can do a video on how to make a spaghetti chart. I mean, there's already one on my YouTube, but it's really simple, mate. You literally do this. You type in what you want. Useless. Bosh. There you go. I've added it. Now if I go to the 10-minute chart, useless is on there. There it is. If I go to the daily chart, you know, there it is. Lovely jubbly. That's literally it. There's no real, like, major source to it, brother. I'm not, you know, saying, my god, you know, this is the biggest alpha you'll ever find. Only on my channel can you see it. But I am someone who uses spaghetti charts all day and every day, and have done, well, maybe not every day, but most days, and I have done for, you know, years and years and years. I just feel like it's the heartbeat of the market, right? You can see when things start feeling a bit off as well. Like, look at Altcoin, man. Like, this is what I mean. Like, Altcoin kind of front runs the sell-offs a little bit as well. It seems to be like the canary in the mines, as in, it's the first to die, and everything else follows it. But equally, that means that when it rips the other way, it should rip much harder, because it's quite high beta. But yeah, look at it, just dying. Sad. So yeah, kind of for my Altcoin long, I want Bitcoin to hold up right here, but I'm not really paying too much attention to it. And it's alright. We're up $14 on Pump Everything, Peace Everywhere. Let's go. What a fucking monumental trade. 19% up on stream. We'll just ignore the fact that it's like $17, right? Just ignore that. Fucking, I don't know how you do that 9 to 5 shit, man. But yeah, there's the link for Spaghetti. And what you can do is when you see it up here, it will say take a copy, and you can take a copy of it, and then you can just add or remove whatever you like or don't like, right? Simples. So yeah, I'm not too excited about most of the alts. Say was the one that really caught me by surprise. You know, I was talking about this with a friend, and just going like, I did not catch this, and even if I was here, I'd have seen it on Spaghetti, and I would not have gone for it. Because, you know, I don't have a thesis as to why Say would outperform. The market would tell me that it's outperforming, but by the time I'd kind of looked at the chart and gone, okay, well, where's my validation? How am I going to actually manage this trade? You know, I probably would have been up here somewhere, and the best I could have mustered is this. But it's pretty tough. Like, I don't think, even if I was here, I would have called that. Whereas stuff like Altcoin, it's like, well, Altcoin's been one of the strongest for a long time. So having conviction and being able to size up on it and being able to just not think and execute on it, you know, that, how do I put it? That plays a big part, I think. That in itself has like a weighting to your ability to execute, and therefore I think the kind of quality of that setup. So one of the people I used to trade with a lot, he used to say, you want to trade one asset and one asset only, right? You want to get used to that asset, you want to get in the flow of that asset, you want to understand how it moves, why it moves, all this kind of stuff. Like, it was a little bit more TradFi than crypto. But the same kind of concept applies, right? If you're used to trading one asset, and you're used to just trading, you know, one particular alt or something, you do get a feel for how it moves. And, you know, it might just be in my head, but it certainly feels like you can get in the zone with some of these coins. And I feel like I'm pretty in sync with Altcoin in general, which is a really bad kind of thing to say, because that wasn't exactly my life goal, right? I didn't sit there when I was like 8 years old and go, man, I wish I was known as the Altcoin trader. But for the last 3 to 6 months, that's probably what's happened. You know, I think I've made most of my money probably trading Altcoin. Let's bump up the speed again. I can breathe. So let's go for it. Let's go a bit more. We've done 1.6 miles. Let's fucking go, boys. Let's fucking go. Thoughts on USDUC when you have a minute? Am I going to get rugged? My family can't afford spaghetti. Yeah, it's rugged, mate. 0. 0, 0, 0. USDUC. This is the unstable coin, isn't it? Which many people chilled to me at like redonkulous low market cap. I think it was like down here, like 3.3 million or something. I mean, it still looks good. Structurally, it looks decent, right? Like, what? There's nothing wrong with this. Fucking hell, these boys are early. But yeah, like from a structure perspective, like that's how I look at a lot of on-chain stuff, right? I try and compare the structure to the current market conditions. I look at what the overall market is doing, like are we risk on, risk off, like during the week when everything is just going tits up and going down. If your coin is going down as well, meh. It says that your coin isn't the cure for cancer, it's not going to beat World War III or anything like that. But what it does do is it kind of says that when it comes back, hopefully yours will too. So if you're looking at like general trend of like the market was going down here, and then we had a bit of relief and it's like gone up massively, you've got a decent higher high across here, and then you've got a higher low across here. Like, I would not be particularly worried at this stage, right? It's only when you start breaking trends, and even just like meme diagonals, and even just meme trend lines and EMAs and stuff like that, that's when, if I was up massively on it, you know, if you're checking this every minute of every day, yeah, I wouldn't be afraid to take some money off it. It's only because it's on-chain shit, right? Nice. Quite a few people made a few bucks off it. Nice. Yeah, like, I don't know, a lot of people will look at on-chain stuff differently. They'll look at holders, they'll look at, you know, how many wallets are connected to early snipers and things like that. And I think that's a good way of kind of defining your risk from a counterparty perspective. But the reality is that, like, on-chain stuff, I tend to buy because I think the meme's good, or I think that it's got potential, or, you know, I just like it. That's my strategy at the moment, because there's so much shit that gets launched. It's pretty impossible. Or like following these guys, you know, all the insiders, sorry, top 100 trading colds on Cold Scanner, and a few other wallets that I've added. So when you see those guys buy, you know, look at them, all right. Look at all these boys. They're all fucking buying back here. Like, come on. Come on. You're telling me that they're not, like, part of the cabal? This boy's done very well out of it, I imagine. But yeah, I think it's good. I'm not going to buy it here, but probably should have bought it when I had the chance down there at 3 million market cap, right? But just thought it was a bit meh. I understand the kind of meme of it's an unstable coin and all that, but I just didn't think it was very funny. So, yeah. No, we're round shipping generational wealth, as is standard for the stream, and on-chain gambles. It's over. So over. Anyway, let's go back to other stuff. Is there any stuff that people want me to actually have a look at? Because I don't really have much apart from Altcoin, really. Shorting ETH. Hype's been a good one, but it's pretty janky now. So the only setup, or vague setup that I've got in terms of... so we've done all this, right? Let's just delete all this shit. Actually, we'll go to one of these. Yeah, it's fresh, isn't it? So this is what we talked about before, which was, you know, for me, this dying, this losing its trend, like, that's not good for me. Sell all my spot hype, done with that. Lovely trade, $17 to 37, 36, something like that, right? Job done, nice 2x, took fucking ages, had 50% drawdown, but we'll ignore that fact, yeah? We'll ignore that. We rode it, we're happy. Let's fucking allow it. I see a count on a new Charlie Fartcoin, serious and sensible. Yeah, that's the one. That's right, Charlie, you're welcome. Fartix your name. Please check Nero. Alright, mate. We'll go on to it in a sec. Like, for me, this is just Chop City, right? I'm out of my position, I'm out of my spot position that I bought way back here. $17, yeah, it's in here. And this little consolidation here, thinking I'd call the bottom. I did not catch the bottom. Spoiler alert, down 50%. But then ended up selling for, you know, well over 2x, which is nice. I think, like, the next trade on hype for me, it's really difficult up here. Like, I don't think I want to jump back in on this trend. I think I'd much rather, because hype to me is like a spot bag, right? That you play with, well, the hype of hype. The fact that it's acquiring user bases and all this kind of stuff. And actually I saw a really interesting post the other day, which was about how, you know, Bybit's coming back to the EU, Binance are coming back to America, I think. There's like loads of centralized exchanges that are actually allowing users to come back, which is kind of going to challenge the DEX side of things. Now, I'm not just going to take a trade off the back of that, but structurally, you know, this has lost our uptrend. Reclaimed it here, but that's a horrible place to trade it. Like, I don't want to take a trade like this. Like, what? What's it going to look like? Am I going to assume trend continuation after a however many day uptrend, a break of my meme diagonal, a reset of, you know, my EMAs that are pointing upwards for so long, and they're now flat? Like, do I really want to gamble that this is going to break up? Because that's what it feels like. So for now, there's just no position for me. Is it a good coin fundamentally? Yes. Is it one of the most interesting things in the market? Yes. Would I like a bag that I just hold forever? Well, I've married bags before, and it never really ends well. So, no. Am I happy with my profit? Yes. So, you know, is there a good trade opportunity here? I don't see it. Now, if we get something like this, let's just start again. Alright, we assume that this is a range. We assume that the fact that our trend is like resetting, going from pointing up to pointing sideways, means that we're probably going to get a higher low here. Now, if I was being aggressive, I'd short it, but I don't want to. We come down to here, we reclaim, we get the wonderful reclaim, we get a nice range reclaim set up down at $30-ish, and we just bull steep long that. Easy as peas. That, to me, far better setup than trying to assume a breakout, particularly when structurally, you know, this could easily be a higher low on the daily. Yeah? That's my attitude on hype. I would much rather buy the sell-off, buy the reclaim. For a lot of reasons, really. What it does is it gives me the confidence that actually there is strength here, as opposed to buying a lower high. And it would give me very clean invalidation as well. I can see the Altcoin shitting the bed. Tut tut tut. Well, the pickup bomb was Psy this round, sold way too soon. Well done, man. I mean, I don't know how you would have found Psy amongst all the other shit, to be honest. Unless it was just spaghetti and reaction and boshing it. Or you had a theory about Psy itself, you know. So Nero always trades so fucking weirdly, man. Such a strange coin. Like, from a high time frame perspective, you know, you're kind of just in this like local downtrend, basically. And like for me, it just looks like a horrible descending channel, right? And relatively speaking, there's stronger alts. And when you're in something like this and you're just under the trend, and it looks like from a daily perspective you're rejecting it, like for me, it's like we just have to wait for the next opportunity on it. You know, it's up too much on a local rotation basis for me to get excited and want along. And from a daily one, it's tagging that daily trend, and it looks like, you know, it's probably going to just continue its descension. So, I don't know, just doesn't look very sexy to me. You know, I want to see something where, you know, instead of for the last however long, it'd be down only and then not a particularly strong reaction, it'd be like a V reverse on a strong reaction, right? And, you know, you compare this, even to Altcoin, which hasn't been particularly strong. Do you know what I mean? We've been talking about how strong it kind of hasn't been, which has been a bit surprising. you know, like strong sell-off, but pretty strong bounce, particularly off the lows. And if we go to spaghetti, I don't think I've got near on spaghetti anymore, because it just trades very strangely. Yeah, look, Farcoin. Mental. Better off trading Aptos or Say or something. The way Say and Aptos have run got me hella bullish. Well, I mean, I have a kind of very different view of it. I think both of them are probably just, yeah, being a little bit manipulated, quote unquote. You know, it's the Pico lows, you know, since what, 2023. It's just going to be a big rotation. Yeah, it's a little bit of like manipulation, but you can make money out of it. Do you know what I mean? I think this and the same with ARB will be like that in a week or two. Do I want to stand in front of the strongest altcoin, you know, in the market right now? No. So am I looking to like actively short this? No. But, you know, it's just, I don't see it as a sign of strength for the market as a whole, I guess, would be the point I'm trying to make. Please TA Arby. Have you seen the post that mentions ETF approval rate and date on Altcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin, Solana? 90% chance to be approved in Q3, Dogecoin late last date is October. Yeah, I think the problem with that is like, do we really need ETFs? Is that really going to be the thing that sends the market over the edge? Like, I just, yeah, maybe I'm just getting super skeptical in my old age. But, like, it's Aptos, I mean, again, just the dizzying lows, like literal all-time lows. For Doge, like, Doge is mental when you think about it. It's literally been the weakest alt for so long now. I'd love to see it come back into play. Absolutely love to see it because it's great to trade. The liquidity on it is usually so fucking deep. But, I mean, look at it. It's just pathetic. The bounces for a meme coin are just shine. TRX one of the coins that could be getting manipulated too. Well, TRX just has like, I'm fairly convinced that Justin just owns most of the supply on TRX, and the reason that I say that is because if you look at TRX, right, and I think it's a really bad, I'll just say this now, it's a really bad kind of mental attitude to say, oh, market's manipulated and all that kind of stuff, but you know, it's just, why is Say pumping? Why is App pumping? It's just because they're at literal all-time lows. And they're just being run up. So plebs jump in, get excited, and then they'll just dump a load more inventory on people. But yeah, like TRX is one of the most stable coins in the market, apart from USD or USDT or USDC, right? It's absolutely nuts. Like, just wild coin, absolutely wild. And you know, how can a coin be that resilient? The only way, I think, is massive supply control. But, yeah, it's been probably one of the most stable investments for a long time. Confluence, Bitcoin dominance, triple tap, potential highest distributions, where you're very bullish for now. I mean, I think we did a stream a long time ago where I talked about Bitcoin dominance, and I kind of talked about, not the end of alt season, but the simple fact that I think for the majority of this year, and I actually went up to, you know, Q2, end of Q2, that it's going to be a trader's market in terms of alts, because you're going to need to be able to identify what's going to outperform, what's a strong altcoin, what's not, where your capital is allocated is kind of more important than ever, and people think that, oh, I'll just buy, I don't know, cake. Let's take something like cake as an example. I'll just buy this and I'll be fine. And yeah, don't get me wrong, there's some really nice moves. They're pretty weird, actually, looking at this chart, which I hadn't picked this one. CHZ, let's go CHZ. Yeah, I'll just put some money in this. the reality is that you know, it hasn't been good at any point for the last, well, however long. You know, six months. It's been fucking tragic, just down only. Whereas there was a point where I was trading this quite a lot, actually, coming up to the World Cup. I bought a metric ton of it way back here. You know, like, look at this. Look at the 2021 days, man. Fucking wild, isn't it? Absolutely wild to look back at. It just didn't matter. As long as you had an altcoin, and an alt allocation, you know, you were going to make a ton of money. Whereas now, it's also diluted that you probably won't. You need to pick your alts, and you need to be selective. With meme stocks going crazy previous years, a Doge ETF going to be a send? What do you think? I don't think so, man. I think, like, a lot of people are just like, I think there'll be hype going into it. So I think long Doge going into it and then selling like the day before will be a really good trade. Yeah, it'd be nice because everyone will get really excited and then it'll either get announced or it won't. And, you know, the hype and the run-up, if this is the day of said event, that would be great. And then on that day, it'll either do this and then this, or it'll just do this. So, you know, approved, not approved. In my mind, I just don't see how it's just going to do this. By the way, this would be a really nice trade. Especially if you can get in it early. And with a decent, you know, decent setup. So, you know, if you're looking at something like this, and you start seeing, you know, Doge actually like reclaiming levels, and you go, okay, I can long here, we can play it at least to like this high here, and then if we start getting some real relative strength, we'll know that like this is starting to be the trade, you know, when it starts getting crowded and when it starts getting close to that date, you know, that's when we think about exiting. That's when we go, okay, well, if it comes under here, I'm gone, blah, blah, blah. But no, I mean, I think like, I don't know, maybe I'm a bit more of a high time frame bear than others in terms of, I think a lot of people expect alt season. I think a lot of people expect it to be very easy and just be handed to them on a plate. And I don't think that's the reality of the market anymore. It was the reality of the market 4 years ago. It's not now. You know, there's lots of teams set up that create coins every day. There's lots of new coins launching. There's lots of dispersion. There's too many coins in principle for people to have the attention span in a TikTok generation to really go, yeah, do you know what? Pepe, great coin. I'm going to hold that to 1 billion. You can't hold it shit to 1 billion. There was a good post from a guy called Grok who said if Time launched today, which was like one of the old Ponzi schemes, you know, but a great one. If it launched today, it would be dead within 4 hours because everyone would just fucking sell and the dev would just dump on everybody and that'd be it, game over. You know, this like incredible invention in DeFi would just not survive these current conditions because everyone's a cheat. I was like, brilliant, thanks for that. But it is kind of how it feels. And you know, I had a chat with someone today actually. I was like, oh, you still do all that crypto stuff? And I'm like, yeah. But the only thing that I would ever recommend to people is you just stack Bitcoin. If you want to get involved and you haven't got any time and all that kind of stuff, just stack BTC. You know, I still think it's going to $1 million someday. Do I think this cycle? Nah, probably not. I think we're probably closer to the end of this cycle than we are the beginning, for sure, right? Do I still want to be long? Yes. Do I still think we've got another leg? Yes. Do I think Bitcoin, you know, is going to have a run up and a blow off top? Yeah, I do. I think when it starts going down the other side, we'll see Bitcoin treasury companies being forced to sell, and that will push us lower. And then we'll see, you know, a pretty big move down with some potential bigger liquidations of entities. And then that'll be pretty much the macro bottom. And then we buy again, then we go again, because humans are greedy. And there's probably going to be nothing better in the next 10 years for humans to gamble on than Bitcoin. And until we are the same market cap as gold, right? Why would I be bearish on, you know, a 5 to 10 year time horizon? Just stupid, in my opinion. Yeah, hopefully that answered your question, Ammon. I feel like Pepe might be a fairly easy choice. You likely won't outperform, but you will make decent gains, as long as ETH runs. Yeah, 100%. I think, you know, it goes back to my comment earlier of it's in a shit position right now. So, you know, it's really not looking particularly great. So do I want to balls deep Pepe right here, right now? Not really. But if it reclaims the range, could be a very different story, right? Could be a very different story. You know, reclaim the range. Pepe starts looking a lot more attractive because it's high beta. I haven't actually looked at the Pepe chart for a while, but structurally it looks alright, doesn't it? Oh, I'm using voice commands on Bybit apparently. Lovely. But yeah, I mean, this is a pretty nice deviation on the lows. But yeah, I'm not too excited about Pepe, like, I just can't be. Oh, and this Pepe I got turbo rugged. Lovely. Lovely. Never sell. Sell at the end of streams. Wrecked. Got farmed. Pump everything, peace everywhere. No peace for me. 0.7 would be a nice level for the long. I mean, yeah, you give some of these coins, like, if we're getting down to that, right? The reality of that kind of level is, I think we're heading into, like, full-on bear market territory again, right? Having nice pumps, like, and it's that classic, like, death cycle, right? You know, this is the bouncing ball. Every time we kind of do it, it gets weaker and weaker and weaker. And then you come down here, you're really probably going to sweep all these. Ooh, good lord. Probably sweep all these. I mean, I am on a treadmill, so I'll give myself that. You're probably going to sweep all these lows. At a minimum, yeah? And then, you know, it becomes quite difficult to kind of go, well, okay, unless it's ranges for a while, and then we start breaking out, which is a perfect setup for me. I love that. Because I can be patient, right? I don't need to trade every single day. I love trading every single day, but if we do go full bear market territory at some point, I'm not saying tomorrow, then, you know, that classic, let's just draw it like this, that classic big sell-off, consolidate, break out of a long consolidation, you can get some really nice trades where you can max long with a tight invalidation and catch a really good rotation on memes. That's why I love trading memes, for exactly that reason. Yeah, I think we covered everything tonight. I don't think there's too much. It's just a bit of a weighing game from my perspective, because there's not too much to go over. We went over the Bitcoin plans. We went over the levels that we're looking at. We're going to probably rotationally play some Altcoin just to stay sharp, but not with you know, the most ridiculous size and going for the big guns, because a lot of the move is probably done from a like day-to-day, you know, session perspective. I'm not saying it's going straight to zero. I'm just saying that we've had 2 days of it doing this. Now it's consolidating. What normally happens after that? A little pullback. Does that mean it's over? No. Maybe a little consolidation, and then next leg up, because the market tends not to just do this for days and days and days and days and days and days. Love the simplicity of your charts. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, I try and keep it simple. I've had a lot of different kind of systems over the years. I've tried to integrate various different things. I think simple levels, simple reactions, relative strength. Relative strength is such a good tool that nobody uses. Well, nobody uses well, I don't think. They'll use it and they'll go, oh, this is a good coin. But they won't use it to go, maybe I should be a bit cautious of the entire market because the high beta is dumping. Maybe I can see a trade here. Like, why is this here massively outperforming everything? You know, Aptos. So you can see Aptos here. This line, you can just about see it, right? Like, you could until I drew over it. Like, that line there, why is that massively outperforming everything? Can I jump in on that? You know, should I be jumping in on that? What's the kind of thought process. Like, is there a setup on a low time frame basis? There's so much here. So much here. Patience now, yeah. And desync, yeah, I'll talk about desync, because I've still got a fat bag of desync. And it was one of the best of the lows as well. So I'll happily shill my bags, prompted by the chat. Look, it's one of the highest returns off the lows, but it's also because the lows were kind of taken out like massively. I think I sent this. Did we talk about this last week, maybe? But essentially, you know, it's defended these lows, which have been across, you know, months, if not years, and big sell-off, big reclaim. I'm just hoping it starts running now. You know, this is the reclaim of these lows is where, if you wanted to trade it, you should be trading it. If not, then it's up the highs at like 0.15, like a breakout up here, maybe even a little bit higher, would be a, right, we've consolidated a bit, we're breaking out, we're going for the next big leg of desync. That would be my kind of, you know, where I would want to trade it. Yeah, I think that's kind of everything. Yeah, it's not ideal. I'm going to top that up for next stream. And I'll have a chat with Doc and see if we can do something a bit more adventurous in terms of like PvP each other, in terms of a 10 Zol to 500 challenge or something stupid like that. If there's any questions, then fire away. My DMs are always open on Twitter and all that kind of stuff. We've got a discount code still going for the Paragon, I think, which I might close off today. I can't actually remember when it is. So the code is BELIEVE, which gets you 20% off. But that's only if you sign up with the card, because it's already included in the crypto prices. So if you want to play with crypto, that's fine. You don't need to put in the code. If you want to play with card, then you have to put in the code BELIEVE, and you get 20% off. Right, simples. Yeah. Can I draw Pepe go up? I mean, I can draw it. Probably not going to happen though. I can draw it. 1 Bitcoin, mate. 1 Bitcoin. That's my usual fee. But anyway, I will love you and leave you all. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you all for being here. I do really appreciate it genuinely, and your questions and all that kind of stuff. Like and subscribe, do all that kind of wonderful stuff so I can tell my mum how many subscribers I've got. And yeah, I will see you at the same time next week. Au revoir.